take a few minutes at fundamentals of Mobius. Weapons in Mobius possess 4 types of attacks: overheads, horizontals, underhands, and stabs. Each attack can be performed from the right or left side, and headshots deal more damage. Attacks are made up of 3 parts: wind up, release, and recovery. Wind up is the period of time from the beginning of an attack to when it enters release. Release is the period of time that your attack can deal damage. Recovery is the period of time at the end of an attack before you can begin another. Attacks can be comboed by inputting a new attack during the end of release or beginning of recovery of any previous attack. Any attack can be comboed into any other attack with the exception of stab into stab. Parrying is your primary method of defending yourself from incoming attacks. A parry is a timed block performed by looking at your opponent and pressing your parry button before their weapon hits you. Successful parries drain your stamina and enable you to immediately parry again. A deflect is a defensive alternative to a parry with several key differences. Deflections feature a much shorter window and, when successful, they award stamina rather than draining it. A deflect is best used when you are confident in the timing of your opponent's next attack to punish their predictability with a riposte, which I'll explain later. Attacks in Mobius function in real time, which means they exist in the world and can be continuously manipulated via mouse input. This has various implications, which we will explore now. By manipulating the location of your weapon during your attacks, you can significantly affect the timing of when they hit your target. Causing your attack to hit early is known as an excel, and causing it to hit late is known as a drag. To perform an excel, move your attack toward your opponent, and to perform a drag, move your attack away from them. Real-time attacks also enable interesting offensive and defensive maneuvers that can be performed on the fly when the situation calls for it. Target swaps are a powerful mix-up best utilized whenever multiple enemies are around you and can often net you a hit on an unsuspecting opponent. Performing a matrix is another way of negating incoming attacks when necessary. Your primary criteria for choosing an attack type should be its distinct properties. Choosing your attacks deliberately helps avoid accidentally hitting terrain or teammates, which is crucial as Mobius features full team damage. If you perform an attack immediately after successfully parrying, it will result in a counter. Counters have unique animations and ensure you gain initiative after successfully defending yourself. Having initiative means you have ensured your current attack will hit your opponent before their next attack will hit you. A riposte is an input like a counter, but is performed following a deflect rather than a parry. Ripostes cannot be interrupted, are less restricted by turn cap, and cause the player to glow. Sometimes, after you have begun an attack, you may need to spend stamina to cancel that attack or extend its wind-up duration. Pressing the feint button during the beginning of an attack's wind-up will cancel it. Morphs are initiated by inputting a new attack while your current attack is still in wind-up. The key difference between feints and morphs is that feinting fully cancels your attack and causes you to lose initiative, while morphing transitions your attack into a new one, thereby maintaining initiative. Both tools can also be used to trick your opponent into parrying by strategically mixing up the timing of your attacks, and it's worth noting that all attack windups can be feinted and morphed. I've mentioned stamina several times, but what happens when you run out? You become exhausted, which places you in a weakened state until you recover. While exhausted, your movement is heavily restricted and you are unable to parry, feint, or morph, but you can still attack and deflect. You have no way of gaining initiative while exhausted, but each successful deflect will significantly shorten your exhaustion duration. Beware of attacking while exhausted, because if your attack is deflected, you'll be stunned and unable to fight back. Alright, that wraps up our explanation of the basics of combat in Mobius. As the game is still in active development, everything described here is subject to change, and we appreciate your patience as we refine the game on our journey to a full release. For this alpha, the game modes on offer are Last Team Standing and Deathmatch. Last Team Standing pits 2 teams of 5 against each other in multiple rounds, where the goal is to be the last team with a member alive each round. Deathmatch is a free-for-all, where the first player to 30 kills wins the match. However, when joining a deathmatch server, first check to see if it's a bloodbath or if players are dueling in 1v1s. If they are, it's likely you've joined a duel server. Find an opponent and bow to signify you would like to duel, and if they bow in return, the fight is on. It's considered bad etiquette to RDM, randomly deathmatch, when joining a server where players are dueling, so respect requests to honor ongoing duels. Now, with all that out of the way, have fun. We'll be paying attention to the Mobius Discord server for feedback, and we hope you enjoy this early peek at Mobius.
No. Nice. Nice. Okay, birds. Okay, birds. Wonderful annoying wheel on the left. Yeah, yeah. What? Oh, okay. Jank. Jank. It's jank. Uh-uh. It was like shit. Paint window's too small. Ugh. looks like shit. I can figure out who I am. Nice overhead stuff. How? Interesting. I missed so many times. It's just chivalry. Up and down, up and down. Yo.